Oh, what's up, Kegger? Let's do this, man. Playoffs are upon us as we record this early in the week, but we got all the games in the NFL and the playoffs. Now, we know the Chiefs and the Lions have their byes, but Saturday we got Chargers at Texans, followed by Steelers at Ravens. Then on Sunday, Broncos at the Bills. I would think Nance and Romo will be on that call. Packers at the Eagles, Commanders at the Bucks, and we are graced with another Monday Night Football game. One more, right? Vikings at the Rams. So that'll be nice. Tonight will be a little different. It's going to be a little weird without having Monday Night Football. But what is up, my friends? What is up, Jabroni Clyde, Tyler, Card Addict? Good to see everybody in here. NukeTheHouse.com is what you want to check out. Nuke the House Sports Betting. We're going to talk about these playoffs right now, Kegger, and he's already placed some bets, and he's put them in the premium Discord. So if you want to get our site and you want to get Keg's pre-flop picks, you got to make sure you're a member. $59.99 a month. Nuke the Playoffs is the code if you want a free week. NukeTheHouse.com. Subscribe. Nuke the Playoffs for a free week. $59.99 a month. My friend, we talked about this a little bit last night, but we got line movement. We got player props up. What's going on in your world with the NFL playoffs? I'm already excited.
Yeah, man, we're already firing on bets. We got some player props out. Before we get to that, the one thing that makes us different here at Nuke the House is we talk about the good days. We talk about the bad days. So, listen, we had a great December. I made 70 units. Sean crushed. Coop did well. First 3 days of 2025 were insane. And yesterday, Holden, I got my dick kicked in. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen from time to time. I don't even know exactly what I lost. I'm going to figure that out after this show, and I will put it in the Discord for people. But we're transparent, and you have to talk about the bad days and the good days. And yesterday was a very bad day for me. Week 18 is tough, man. It really is tough. And I feel good going into the playoffs. I mean, we're in a great space so far in 2025, but got to talk about the bad days too. Yesterday was not good, but we'll rebound. We'll get it right.
You need to burn that Jahmyr Gibbs jersey. You're not going to, but you need to burn it. That was bad.
I will be wearing that Gibbs jersey for every Detroit Lions game in the playoffs.
Well, you better have a good game after the bye because the jersey's getting burned. I'm flying out to your house and burning that thing if he doesn't step it up in the passing game.
I know.
It was a good call. We fell 2 yards short. What are we going to do? Yep. Big deal. You lost a Honda Civic, not a Toyota Camry.
Yeah. You know what helped? That when we went back in on over 10.5.
Yeah.
I got most of the money back but I went in. The problem is I went into that game getting murked. So
you can do that with your bankroll. The rest of us that we have to be bankroll. We got to be strict to our bankroll. So Keg can say that, but when you win as much money as him, he's winning us money. But it's different. We got to stick to our bankroll. What's up, Jesse's girl? DB Gnarly. Josh is in the house. I was in the house. By the way, I just saw this. Yeah, are you familiar with King of the Court?
I am not.
Okay, it's something that Foxy does during the NBA. So basically, like the highest scoring player you get part of a pool. So let's say it's a $2 million pool.
Right.
You have that player, all of a sudden you can win a ton of money, right?
Okay.
So now the king of the end zone is here. So the king of the end zone is a bet, and this will be fun, and I'm totally going to go down, but you place a bet in an NFL TD market, and if the player you bet on to score a touchdown has the longest TD of the day, you get, I mean, who knows with the NFL, it'd probably be millions and millions of dollars, but you get a cut. So let's say, all right, if Lamar Jackson has the longest and so many people bet on Lamar Jackson, all right, you're not going to cut that much. But you're betting on a TD for Patrick Ricard, who, by the way, was a yard away from cashing a monster number for us.
I know.
If he somehow, some way gets it, you're making tons of money. So I think that this is going to be fun. The king of the end zone. So good way of DraftKings to take more of our money, but they're making it fun. They really are making it fun. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're doing, charging people $20 a month to get, better boosts on parlays. It feels very predatory to me.
It is.
But I mean, I'll check it out.
But I'll still bet with them as long as they give me the good lines. They know that we're suckers.
Listen, the one thing I can't complain about that place is they take almost every bet I make.
Yep.
And they're one of the only ones out there.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, friend. Let's go talk about this. I was excited to see the props drop this morning, but if we're going to talk about the playoffs, let's start with the Super Bowl and work backwards.
Okay.
The futures. I'm just going to look for the best numbers in the futures. The Ravens are 6-1. The Bills are 650 plus 650 is what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing the Broncos at 8.5-1 plus 280, 300. You're getting 3-1 at ESPN and Bet Rivers for the Lions. 22-1 for the Packers, 100-1 for the Texans, 370 for the Chiefs is the best number I'm seeing. We're already sitting on a ticket though, at like almost 9-1. So that's nice. Chargers 35-1, 35-1 for the Rams, 16-1 for the Vikings. I mean, maybe you still buy into the Vikings. 7-1 for the Eagles, best number I'm seeing here. 30-1 for the Bucks and 85-1 for the Steelers. So listen, again, we're already sitting on the ticket for the Chiefs. Do you see any other team that would be worth betting at this point to win the Super Bowl, especially with the Lions, the team we love so much, just at 3-1?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to get creative and try to get the number up on somebody like the Lions. Like if you can get that 3-1 up to like 8-1, that's probably worth betting. Okay. I would say at these current numbers right now, if you're not going to parlay it with something to try to get the number up, best value on the board right now, probably either Buffalo or Philly around 7-1. Best long shot on the board right now, I have to say Minnesota or Tampa Bay would probably be the two long shots that I think have the most legit chance to make some noise. I guess you could say Green Bay too, but I don't know. Green Bay hasn't looked great to me down the stretch. So, yeah, that's basically where I'm at. But we will be on a couple more futures for sure.
I know Aaron Schatz, who ended up creating DVOA. I beat him out for a sports radio job in Boston, and he ended up making more money than me, I think, in the long run because he's on a gold mine right now. The Ravens, listen to this, and you're not going to believe this, maybe. The Ravens have the fourth most efficient offense since 1978 in DVOA, behind 2010 Patriots, 82 San Diego Chargers that played 9 games, New England 16-0 season in 07, and then there's Baltimore. This offense for the Ravens, and I know we see it down here, and what got me thinking about is Andrew G. I'm going, Ravens.
Here's the problem.
What? Defense?
Do you think that they could go into Buffalo and into KC and beat both those teams? Because they're going to have to do that to get to the Super Bowl. And that's a tough ask for me.
I think if they get one down, then I could say that they can do it. They got to get one down. But again, nobody's talking about the Chiefs. Nobody. It's just, it's the Ravens or it's the Bills. It's the Lions. It's the Eagles. No one's talking about the Chiefs again. Same thing as last year. Nobody learned their lesson. Nobody. Yep. Did you learn your lesson from last year?
I did. That's why I bet them before the year started. I bet them. I learned.
You guaranteed that you would remember not to fade them because right after the Super Bowl you bet it.
You're absolutely right. Actually, I think I think you're absolutely right.
I
for my money, man, Buffalo and KC and the Lions and the Eagles are just the 4 best teams in the league to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I respect Baltimore just like I respect Minnesota and Green Bay and Tampa. But to me, those teams are just a cut above.
I'm with you. So let's get into these games now, Kegger, and want to remind everybody, smash the like button for us. We're not going to give away a free month subscription because I think people that are watching right now, a lot of the diehards. So we know that, but I think we might have some more free stuff to give away on Saturday. with one of the two games and maybe both of those games. So the first game, again, I said this off the cuff yesterday, and then Ramon posted it. Like the Texans, every time they've been in the playoffs, they play the first game on Saturday. Mm-hmm. It's annoying because I don't want to watch the Texans games. They're not playing very good football. The Chargers are gross, but you know what? Still excited. 11-6 Chargers at the 10-7 Texans. And the home team in this one is actually the dog. It's 2.5 3-point favorite here for the Chargers on the road. The total 42.5. This thing, Kegger, last night opened at 44.5. It's down to 42.5 at DK, 43.5 at FanDuel. Just to get some basic thoughts on these two teams, as Houston really struggled down the stretch, Stroud with a sophomore slump, and the Chargers, listen, if they can find a way to run the ball with the way they have defense, then they're going to be fine. If they cannot run the ball and Herbert has to throw it, they might not make it out of the wild card round.
My gut says that this line closes at 2.5. I think 3 is a little strong.
Okay.
I think Buffalo being 8.5, you have to tease them in this spot with as many teams as you can. And I know it's negative EV, and I always talk about you don't bet teasers unless they are Wong teasers. But, you know, in the short term, you can win. So I think if the Texans are 2.5, you have to look at teasing them up. There's another game that's currently at 3, Washington and Tampa. Mm-hmm. If that game gets to 2.5, I think you have to tease them up to Buffalo, because I just think that the moment is probably going to be too big for Bo Nix in his first start on the road against, for my money, the best team in the AFC, Buffalo. So Bo Nix has been incredible this year. I just think that he's not ready for the moment, and this team might get dog walked bad. So, yeah, that's what I'd be looking at. I think at 3, you're probably lean Texans. At 2.5, I think you have to tease them up. Interesting about the total, because I was talking to Adam, and the favorite on Saturday to be the highest scoring game is the Pittsburgh game. And I kind of think that it should be the Chargers game should be the favorite to be the highest scoring game on Saturday, because don't get me wrong, you're probably going to get 24-30 out of Baltimore. If I had to guess, I just don't know what you're going to get out of Pittsburgh. And I could see that Chargers-Texans game. I could see a scenario where it shoots out. So I would lean over, even though a ton of money has come in on the under. And I think you have to be looking at the Texans +3 or teasing them up at 2.5.
And then there's our other buddy, Nico DeFrico Collins, right? Yep. So this is not an easy matchup. Defensively, the Chargers are pretty strong at every single position out there. I get it. Bosa and Mack are getting old, but they can still do the job. Nico DeFrico, 84.5 is the number at 365, 86.5 around the rest of the industry, 87 at FanDuel. So I'm interested in seeing if we're going to be on Nico by the time it's all said and done. But this is the big game, and Nico likes to step up, man. I'm a big Nico fan. I'm sure you are as well. So that's the first game that we talk about. And all the props are out. So if you are a props person, I know that a lot of times we wait till Sunday, take our time. I don't think you can do that right now if you want the number. I just don't. You can't. Now, it's not going to be like Sunday where Mike Evans' prop went up 20 yards and Drake London's went up like 12, 15 yards, and he still blew through it. But these things move so fast throughout the week.
So I agree.
You're already looking at it.
That's why Adam and I, for almost the entire season, that our player props on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yep.
I mean, the numbers move too much. Yeah, I'm with you. You have to get down on these props soon if you want to get some value. And just about Nico, if you think that Houston can win this game and you think that they will win this game, you almost have to hit the button on Nico, because they're not going to win this game if he doesn't get over that number. So yeah, that's just my thoughts there. But yeah, I'm with you. You have to bet props early. real early because they're going to get nuked.
Yep. For those of you that are new to the prop market or new to Nuke the House, like button would be great. Smash that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching on X right now, come on over. Join the fun. YouTube, type in Nuke the House, subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when we're on next. Our Tuesday NBA show is our next live show. That'll be tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern time. Foxy and myself will do a little college basketball. D-Money might come by for some NHL. We'll do the same thing on Wednesday night. And then Thursday night, we got the college football playoffs. All right. What up, Hooper the Elf? Wonders to see you. Andrew, hello. How are you? And let's get into our next game. So we've got the Steelers at the Ravens. Boy, this was not the way the Steelers needed to finish the season to have anybody have any confidence whatsoever in this team. That being said, rivalry game. And even though Lamar kind of figured out the Steelers in that last game they faced, Tomlin has really had a good game plan for shutting him down. You tell me, though, 9.5 is the number here. The Steelers are dogs on the road, 9.5, 10 points. That's a lot. But given the way we have seen Russell Wilson over the last month, that gives me no hope. 44.5 total, 9.5, 10-point spread. That being said, man, Tomlin's a great coach. Rivalry game. Can the Steelers at least keep it close?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because this line feels strong to me, right? But when I look at my own power ratings, I would have had this game at 10. So I don't really see value either way on the side. But that number to me is pretty accurate. Like, I know a lot of people are going to snap at Pittsburgh. They're going to be like 9.5. That doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. The numbers, it bears out. That's what the number should be. So no real value on the side. The total, about right to me. If I was going to bet the total, I'd be looking at the Baltimore team total over, maybe Pittsburgh team total under. I think that this is a lot like Nico Collins. If you think that Pittsburgh is going to hang around in this game, and I kind of do, I think they will look much better than the way we just saw them look. I know we got killed on George Pickens this week. He was a total no-show. But if you believe that they are going to hang around in this game, you have to hit the button on Pickens, because if he doesn't go off in this game, they have no chance in this game to stay within a touchdown, in my opinion. If we're going to give out one free play on this show, because I will have a bunch of playoff bets, I've already hit the button on Lamar Jackson over 48.5 rushing yards, gave that to the people. That's all I'm going to give out. There will be a ton more for the subs, but it's playoff time, and I just don't see Lamar's feet not moving. So I think he's going to be running, and I like that 48.5 look right now. That's the only thing I've bet in this game.
Derrick Henry opened at 99.5. 99.5.
It's about right.
Yeah, given the way he usually starts a little slower, might as well just bet it live, see if you can get a better number. But again, this guy's just unstoppable. He's amazing. Card addict, not thrilled with the free play again. But you know what?
No, he's my guy. It's all good.
We're giving a free play out. And honestly, I don't know if people really know how much the props are out there, because usually they'd move in the first hour. There's not much movement today. Not much movement at all. Next game that we will discuss is another game. This time, obviously it's another game. There's a game on Sunday, and I know how you're feeling about this one. My Denver Broncos are probably going to get their asses kicked on the road in Buffalo. This line, I mean, I saw it at 9. I saw it at 8.5. I saw it back at 8. Now it's 8.5 or 9, depending on where you want to shop. And the total is sitting pretty steady at 47. You know, to me, the most interesting matchup in this game is going to be the Broncos defense against the Buffalo offense. Mm-hmm. But given the way that Josh Allen has commanded this offense, and they're scoring 30 points every game, this might be a toughie for Denver, especially with a lack of a running game.
I agree. I think Buffalo, on the inverse of that, I think that the Buffalo defense is going to give Bo Nix big big problems. I think he's going to struggle, and I think he's going to be running in this game. So I think you could probably look at towards his rushing yards here. I think you have to tease Buffalo. This is a great opportunity to get that line down to 2.5 with whatever else you like on this playoff slate the first weekend. And that's really all I'd be looking at right now. I have to dig into props. Josh Allen has so many weapons, Holden. It's so hard to know who he's going to go to. It seems like the one guy that you can count on is Shakir. It looks like he's the number one, but he could always go to Amari Cooper. He could always go to Keon Coleman. He could always hit Cook out of the backfield. So, I mean, there are a lot of options. Going to be hard to nail down some player props, I think, on Buffalo. Maybe you're looking at the running backs in this spot. If you really think that this game is going to be, a snowball downhill where the Broncos get dog walked, I'd probably be looking at the Buffalo running game. But yeah, that's where I'm at in this game right now. Total at 47. I just don't know how much Denver is going to give you. That's the problem. I would probably have a slight lean to the under here.
They might get some garbage time. I'm not that afraid of the Buffalo defense, but when you have a Broncos offense that is completely one-dimensional at this point, that's about it. And then on the Buffalo side, Amari Cooper, they still don't know if he's going to play as a personal matter right now. And I just got done telling you that none of the props really moved to this point. The one guy that has moved up a couple of yards is Bo Nix. He opened at 20.5. He's up to 22.5. I'm seeing offshores at 26.5. So if you want to get on Bo Nix, it might be advantageous to do it a little bit earlier in the week, but 22.5 kind of seems like the right number.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, Buffalo is a top 6 team in EPA per rush. Mm-hmm. Denver is not going to be able to run the football.
No,
I really don't. I think Bo Nix is going to throw the ball 45, 50 times in this game. That's kind of where I'm at.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's going to be chucking because I don't think they're going to be able to run on Buffalo. So yeah, I think this is a really good opportunity to get that line down to 2.5 and start slamming it with teams you like.
I'm just looking at this though. Drake May had 32 against him. I mean, by the way, this kid Joe Milton yesterday looked spectacular with the Patriots. He had 48 against him. They gave up some yards in the running game. So we can't close the door on him. Let's just put it that way. We can't on Nix and running.
Oh no, him, yeah. But the running backs are not going to get anything.
They stink. And then Mims has kind of been a nice little surprise as the season's gone on. So Marvin Mims, a guy to look at. Sutton's a guy to look at, but that's that game. Smash the like button. It'd be great. You want to check us out free for a week? We'll give it to you. Go to nukethehouse.com, click subscribe. Any package you make, you got 7 days. You don't want to renew? Don't renew. Fine. If you want to renew, buy a package, $59.99 a month. Nuke the Playoffs. One word, Nuke the Playoffs is the code to get yourself a free week of the best live bettors in the world. I just had to tell a guy at VSiN today that these are the best live bettors in the world. Just saying. I know you don't like to hear it, but too bad. It's the truth. So we're through 3 games. We got 3 more. We got the 4:30 game, big time game. Packers, Eagles on Sunday. A lot of eyeballs on this game. The Eagles, if Hurts comes back, which we're expecting because the line is set with him playing, all 22 starters from week 1 are healthy. Like, you don't see that very often in the National Football League. So this thing opened at 4, went to 5.5, now sits at 4 at BetMGM. This thing opened at 3.5, went to 5.5, down to 4.5, now at 3.5 at DraftKings. So between 3.5, 4, and 4.5 point favorites for the Eagles. I think I did a YouTube short on this today where you and I were discussing this on the show last night. You're like, that line should be 5.5. So it hit 5.5, but now there's buyback. Total 45.5, 46.5. Are the Eagles that much better than a Packers team that we were so high on last year because they looked so good in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they are. I think that they are 5.5 points better than the Green Bay Packers. Circa and Benson open that line at 5.5, and that is the right number if Jalen Hurts is going to play. Man, at 3.5.
Why is it at 3.5? Are people worried Hurts isn't playing?
I mean, Underdog sent out a tweet that said Sirianni says that he is still in concussion protocol.
He is.
But I mean, he would have to be really fucked up not to play in that playoff game. I just can't see it. I think that at 3.5, you almost have to hit the button on the Eagles because the line is 2 points wrong if Jalen Hurts plays. I'm interested to know, what does Circa have on that game right now, Holden?
I'm looking. Unabated usually doesn't have much Circa up here. There we go. I got it. I found it. Never mind. It's 4. It opened at 4. It went to 4.5, 5.5, back down to 4 to 4.5 and 4.
That's gotta be people thinking maybe he won't play and hitting the button, because it doesn't make sense that it went to 5.5 and got that down to 4, because the right number is 5.5.
Unless someone freaked out and put a big bet down on there and said, "Oh, he's not going to play." But
yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
I think that they are the second best team in the NFC, and I think that you have to take them seriously. Green Bay Packers are just not there yet. They're just not there.
All right. We got a couple more games. Eagles are for real. Yes, Justin, they are. I mean, they're just a really good football team. They've got a meathead for a head coach, but you know what? He made the right call sitting guys that needed to sit so they can get healthy going into the playoffs. So I'll give Sirianni a little bit of credit there. Sunday Night Football, the upstart Washington Commanders visiting Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. This should be, to me, this is going to be the most exciting matchup of the weekend. Could be wrong, but total sitting at 50.5 or 51, has not moved. And most books, you were talking about Circa, they opened at 50.5, moved at 51. Everywhere else, it's staying at 50.5. Side, very consistent. Buccaneers by 3. They did open it at 3.5 at a couple of books, but nope, it just settles in at 3 just about everywhere right now. So you said Bo Nix, the moment was going to be too big for him in Buffalo. Different atmosphere, man. Tampa Bay, that home field is not quite like Buffalo, but you got a rookie going on the road against a team that goes to the playoffs seemingly every season, winning the South with a mediocre record. Baker Mayfield playing the best football of his life. He is turnover prone, but listen, without Godwin, McMillan stepped up. They got a great running game. Defensively is where we got some big question marks. And I think there's question marks on both sides defensively. So do you see this team or both teams putting up enough points to hit the over? And what's your take on the side there, Kegger?
Yeah, completely agree with everything you just said. You're right. Buffalo is not Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay is nowhere near as good as Buffalo. I think at 3.5, should the line get back there, a little bit of value on Washington plus the hook. But I think what I like in this game, I would be very surprised if this isn't the highest scoring game on the slate, and that's why it has the highest total, with the caveat that that Monday Night Football game could beat them out to be the highest scoring game. But I like points here. I think that they're going to get up and over this total of 50. Yeah, I do. That's probably my favorite look in the game right now. And I think that if the line was 3.5 in Washington, there would be a slight value on them. Right now, I would say at 3, it's probably the right number. Maybe
you're looking at some props too, especially the way you bet overs. A lot of Daniels. I think Baker's been running a lot. Kegger, that's something else to look at. We've got dynamic offensive players, especially with Bucky Irving and Mike Evans and McMillan. There's just the same old names in this game. And if we're expecting points, then we're going to have a good time with this game.
Yeah.
Let me see where they started Irving out at. All right. His prop is sitting at 87.5. Now you get 83.5 at 365, but they opened this thing at 87.5, man.
I mean, he's been a wrecking ball. I mean, he's really good.
He's been great, but that's a heavy number, man.
He's going to have an opportunity. He's going to get his against this Washington defense, no doubt.
I think Jalen McMillan's another guy that's interesting. FanDuel opened him up at over 3.5 receptions at -30. That's now minus 168. It's 4.5 plus 130 around the rest of the industry, right around that number. You've got Mike Evans. I'm looking at his catches right now, 5.5 with heavy juice, but they set his line at 74.5, 76.5 at some shops. So by this time of the year, the books are pretty sharp with their numbers. You know, they've been sharp with their numbers, but they know exactly what they're doing here in the playoffs. So,
again, you're paying the full premium right now on player props, no doubt.
You bet unders, that's great. Wait till game day, bet the under.
Yep,
as soon as you can. But if you're laddering, that's going to be a different story.
Yeah, if you're betting the over in this league, you better be hitting the button after the props come out, or you're going to get killed.
Yeah. All right, last game, Monday Night Football. Kegger, tell everybody hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel before I get into this.
Listen, boys.
Thank you.
It doesn't cost you $1 to be kind.
No.
Hit the like button. We give the content here for the people. We always try to steer you guys in the right direction. Literally, all we ask, maybe a subscription to the YouTube channel and hit the like button. That's it. That's all we ask.
That's not a lot. It's pretty simple. So do it right now, and I'll let you know about our last game. Vikings at the Rams. So when we talked about this last night, Rams are 2.5-point dogs at home. Lions went out, shellacked the Vikings. This line moved a full point, Keg, from 2.5 down to 1.5-point favorites for the Vikings on the road. Total hasn't moved, 47.5, staying steady there. But was this an overreaction to the Vikings losing to the Lions last night, or should this line be 1.5 in LA?
I kind of feel like the right side took money in this spot.
Okay.
And I don't want to bury my friend. I would be very worried about this game. They can absolutely lose this game. They really can. I mean, if Puka is on one and Stafford can consistently get him the ball and Kyron could do his thing, they can hang with this Minnesota Vikings offense, and they might be able to pull an upset. And I really hope that's not the case, because I would like to see Johnny get a playoff win, because the last time they played Danny Dimes and they got crushed. So I would like to see Johnny get a win here. I am a little concerned, though. I think the Rams are live in this spot.
Rams are always a team. They get to the playoffs and McVay, they're dangerous. Plus, Puka Nacua, unstoppable. You know, Kyron's going to run the ball a million times. They did miss Aaron Donald, but they kind of started getting pressure up the middle a little bit defensively. So nobody's seen or heard from Johnny, though.
No.
That's not good. That's not good.
That's good. No.
That's not good. No. He thinks you owe him $10,000. He's missing.
Yeah, I mean, you know me well enough to know that jersey was in my house already when I said that. Yeah. I mean, I said if I don't have a jersey on, and I had a jersey on.
Oh, he's been in the. All right, that's good. I just want to make sure the dude was alive.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. Like he was. I mean, just bolted.
Let's be honest here.
Okay.
Did it go his way last night? No, but. You took a team with a 6.5 win total, and they went 14-3 and played for the number 1 seed and home field throughout last night. You cannot be upset yet. Now, if they lose to the Rams, then I think Johnny is going to snap, and probably rightfully so.
Really?
But right now. You cannot be upset about this season. This has been a great season for you. They're good enough to make a run. Let's see what happens. And you know, it starts on Monday night, man. It starts on Monday night.
Yep. We're all done. So again, our next live broadcast, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. UFC pod is going to drop this week. We got college football semifinals Thursday, Friday night. The boys will be live betting that. NBA, NHL, college hoops, live betting show Tuesday, Wednesday night, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, NFL playoffs. A lot going on. And fights. You got fights.
Oh, yeah. And Thursday night, I will be live with the boys for the game. Are we leaving?
I mean, Do you want to talk anything else?
Before we go, let's talk about the MVP market.
Oh, I'd love to do that. Yes, let's talk about the MVP market. And that would be Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen, maybe Saquon Barkley, if you wanted to throw him in there.
No, I'm talking Super Bowl.
Oh, MVP. Super Bowl MVP. Well, that's completely different. Okay, yeah. Super Bowl MVP market. So before we get into that, then, can you give us a little background on how to bet it, first of all?
Yeah, I mean, if you got here's the thing. Right now, you guys could get phenomenal numbers on people to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. The problem is you could be drawing dead after this weekend if you're on people, right? And that's why these numbers are incredible. So the first thing you have to do, take a look at the bracket, how it's really going to go down, and then who you think the final 4 teams will be. Once you get to that in your head, then I think you have to start firing on the value on those teams. Case in point, Derrick Henry's 45-1 to be the Super Bowl MVP. If you think Baltimore's got a shot to go far, which, let's be honest, it's tough, the fact that they have to beat Buffalo and KC, but are they capable of doing it? It could happen. 45-1. I mean, that's crazy. When you look at guys like if you think Detroit's in the Super Bowl, Amon-Ra St. Brown is 75-1. Jahmyr Gibbs is almost 20-1. Now, granted, you're always going to get beat up on the quarterbacks because Patrick Mahomes might be even money come Super Bowl Sunday. Right now, he's 4-1. So you're going to have to get the numbers up a little bit if you want to go after the quarterbacks. But if you're going after position players, I mean, you really have to take a long look at some of these numbers. I will be firing. I've already fired on a couple for the subs. I will be firing on more with the full understanding that you can absolutely be drawing dead after this weekend. But if you get there, let me ask you a question, Holden. If the Baltimore Ravens are in the Super Bowl, how you feeling about that 45-1 ticket on Derrick Henry?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, and then I can hedge with Lamar. But
correct. And you want to know what that's going to be on Super Bowl Sunday? He's going to be 3-1.
Well, let me say this. You love trivia. Let me give you some trivia. When was the last time a running back won the Super Bowl MVP?
When is the last time a running back?
Pick a year, pick the player, pick this.
Holy cow.
1998.
Oh, wait, Marshall Faulk.
Huh?
Marshall Faulk, one of the best show.
Terrell Davis.
Broncos. Was that Elway's last year?
No, because Elway won the MVP the next year. They felt bad for him, so they gave it to him, even though he wasn't the best player on the field.
Okay.
But, I mean, you don't get a running back to win a lot, but this is kind of a hedge situation. And then in the olden days, you had Otis Anderson and Marcus Allen and John Riggins and all those guys, but running backs just don't win them.
Right. And you know what? There also haven't been running backs that rush for 2,000 yards or close to 2,000 yards in multiple years. This guy is a very different breed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, like, yeah.
Don't we just have to put a ticket on Mahomes, though, just for shits and giggles at this point?
I mean, you could. I kind of feel like the fact that we're already on KC at 9-1, like Xavier Worthy, bro, you might be able to get that guy he's 200-1. Yeah. What's he going to be on Super Bowl Sunday?
You're 11 away your money.
Why?
Because there's no shot. It
Why?
should be 2 million to 1.
You just think it's an automatic Mahomes if he's in the bowl?
They won it how many times? 3, and he's been the MVP every year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could. He might be the one guy. You could be right.
I mean, Xavier Worthy is gonna. Again, we're taking long shots here, but I'd rather burn my money on other guys than Xavier Worthy. Guys that can catch the football.
Well, like Amon-Ra 75-1 is tough not to hit the
button. That's Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's a different quality of athlete.
Tough not to hit the button.
But I want a guy that can catch the football.
AJ Brown. He is 100-1.
Cooper Kupp won it 3 years ago. Edelman won it. You get some wide receivers winning once in a while.
Yeah.
The thing that's going to tilt us is if it's a linebacker again, like Von Miller or Malcolm Smith, then you just flush your money. But really, it's quarterback or wide receiver is what you're looking at. And if you think it could be a Derrick Henry, fine. I bet it. I tailed it.
Hey, if you think the Rams could go on a magical run, Puka is 300-1.
Now, there's a guy. But I don't think they're winning a Super Bowl.
I'm kind of with you.
Yeah.
That's
Good job, Jason Graham, on the Terrell Davis one, by the way. That was terrific. Absolutely terrific. But, I mean, it's fine. You can get cute with these. I just don't want to burn all my money on guys that are probably dead. How many are you going to bet, too? Like
I'm not sure yet. But
like if you bet 5 guys, then you can't have anybody. I mean, you really got to narrow it down. You're not going to bet more than 5 or 6, are you?
I don't know.
Like Iowa, Jamison Williams at 150 is almost auto. I mean, that's fine.
Like, I really don't know how many I'm going to hit.
Deep dive. It's a deep dive. That's what you're doing. You're throwing arrows.
The problem is I feel very good about the 4 teams that are going to be there.
Well, then that's something different.
Right. I feel very good about the AFC and NFC championship game right now. If I had to guess, I might bet some exact results for the Super Bowl because I feel very good about the 4 teams that are going to be there.
And you don't think the Ravens are one of them?
I don't.
Okay. Well, that's a fun show, man.
My man.
It's a good show. We'll be back on Friday. Let's do another show. We'll do it once you get your bets in and really dig into this thing. We can break it down again on Friday with the action plan. But for today, we're Dunsky. Again, tomorrow night, 7:30, Tuesday night, NBA live show. Myself, Foxy. Talk some NHL, bet some NHL. We'll live bet some NBA and some college basketball as well. Smash that like button on the way out, please. I just watched a little Lonesome Dove after last night. You ever heard of Lonesome Dove?
Sure.
I'd never seen it. It just kind of popped up in 1989. Tommy Lee Jones, Robert Duvall.
Yep.
That's how I'm leaving the people today. Lonesome Dove. Let's go meet the house.